banks make money by lending out money, right? Fractional reserve banking, right? And the last thing they want to do is have to like hold money in the bank itself. And so SAB 121 came from the SEC and Gary Gensler, which said, if banks want to custody Bitcoin or crypto, they have to hold dollar for dollar reserves against it. So if you want to hold $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, you have to hold $1 billion in US dollars in your bank. That's $1 billion that you can't lend out and make money on, right? So no bank is going to do that. It's like a death blow for banks holding crypto. And so Congress took this up, and there was a vote in Congress as to whether or not, Congress agreed and this should be okay. And I think it was generally assumed that the Republicans would say, yeah, banks should be able to custody crypto. Holding reserves is a bunch of BS. Democrats would fall in line with what the Democrat SEC Chair Gensler's guidance was, which was, no, banks, have to hold these reserves. And what happened was something different. The Democrats voted along with the Republicans and against SAB 121, right? And that's because the Chuck Schumers and Nancy Pelosi's of the world, their constituents are the banks too, and the banks wanted to custody crypto. And so when it looked like this might pass, Biden said, it makes it, Gensler, right? Presumably there was some conversation between the administration and Gensler, and, Gensler obviously said, you need to veto this. And Biden said, if this makes it to my desk, I'm going to veto it. And sure enough, it passed, made it to his desk. And then at the 11th hour in the middle of the night, he vetoed it. Trump saw this and saw the uproar and was like, wait a minute. He's like, there's like 30 million votes for people who want this shit. Like, this election's going to be decided by less than 30 million votes. I want those votes. And that's when Trump came out really strong for Bitcoin and crypto, which was genius on his part. And, the Biden administration panicked and said to Gensler, hey, you're going to lose us this election. We just lost the crypto vote. You need to get us our crypto vote back. And the only thing that they had that they could do was the Ethereum ETFs were pretty clearly getting rejected by the SEC. And there was none of, before the Bitcoin ETFs, there was a ton of conversation between the lawyers and the SEC working out the little details, and then they got approved, right? There was none of that with the Ethereum ETF. It was dead silence. They were getting rejected. And then pretty much overnight, they got approved. And that was the Biden administration's way to try to get back the crypto voter. So yeah, that's what happened there. And now we've got, apparently Trump said it. I've heard Paul Atkins has said it as well, if and when he becomes chairman of the SEC, that day one, SAB 121 is going away. And why is that so massively important? It's so massively important because, and it's not going to start right away. Banks are not in a position to custody Bitcoin tomorrow or crypto tomorrow, but they will start putting the technology in place to do so. And once banks can custody digital assets, then what you'll get is you'll be able to borrow against your Bitcoin. You'll be able to borrow against your other digital assets. You might even get paid interest on those assets, right? And that is what is going to enable these assets to go up so dramatically in value when people don't have to sell them for liquidity. It's like, oh, we're talking about buying a house. Want to buy a house? Okay. Leave my Bitcoin in JP Morgan and let me borrow against it at 7%. I'll take 7% money all day with an inflation rate that's higher than 7%, right? Like I get to ring the register. It's great. So yeah, and you don't have to sell your Bitcoin. So I think that's going to be a massive, massive catalyst down the road for US dollar price appreciation of Bitcoin.